How did you discover trade shows?
I think it was originally my first trade show that I found out about was the ISH show, ISH, for the International Show of Heating in Germany, because I was fascinated with heating.
As an apprentice, what did you do that you would recommend other people do?
I would recommend as many trade shows as you can go to, as many groups on social media that you can get to.
So at the trade show, it's a place for you to give good, honest feedback to the reps.
Yes, 100%. It's face-to-face. It's not so much the rep as it is the manufacturer, because the manufacturer's here, which is a direct connection to the product manufacturing. So he takes it back and he talks to his engineering department about it.
So back in your apprenticeship, if you could do it over again, is there something that you would do different?
I would try to attend as many trainings, as many schools, learn from as many guys as I could.
Welcome to Behind the Windshield with Dennis the Apprentice, the podcast where we bring you a diverse lineup of guests, apprentices, seasoned professionals, visionary entrepreneurs, business owners, and master craftsmen every week. I'm your host, Dennis. Yes, I am an apprentice because I'm never going to stop learning and trying new things. I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, and I'm a business owner of a Zoom grain franchise in Seattle, Washington. And I'm on a mission to help hardworking young people get a profitable career in the trades without a college education. So this podcast is for people who are visionary entrepreneurs, apprentices in any trade, people who want to start their own business, and even young people without any experience at all. We bring you stories, insights, and experiences that will help you learn from the success and mistakes of guests and even myself. You can find this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go! Aaron, welcome to Behind the Windshield with Dennis the Apprentice at the PHCC booth at the Great Northwest
Adventure.
Every 2 years. Very cool.
Yes.
So, Aaron, you have been bugging me for years to come to this show, and I always never had enough time, and now I'm so glad I came.
Yeah, it's a great show for the local outfits here between Oregon, Idaho, and Washington. It's a
Alaska
great show.
too.
Oh, Alaska too. Yes, sorry, I forget about Alaska.
And there's some guys from California were here, I bet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea that. I don't know why they do it every 2 years. I wish they did it every year, because if AHR can do that show every year, this seems like a little tiny show. I don't know why they can't pull it together and do it every year.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's massive. It's so much fun, and there's so many collaborations going on, and just visiting and talking, just like Service World, AHR, the Wet Show. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to see and talk about products and get your hands on them and play with them.
How did you find out? So I denied going to trade shows. I had Matt Laverne always wanted me to go to the Wet Show, and I could never go. And how did you discover wet shows? I mean, trade shows. How did you discover trade shows?
I think it was originally my first trade show that I originally found out about was the ISH show, ISH, for the International Show of Heating in Germany, because I was fascinated with heating. And so that's what first popped up, and I saw people going to that, and that's on my bucket list to go to, and I still have not made it, but that is a show of all shows. So eventually, it's going on, I think, right now, in fact, in Germany, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you know that George Brazil got invited by REMS?
Yeah.
George
RIMS is Germany, and I forget the guy's name, but I did buy a RIMS bender.
Yeah.
And the RIMS bender is awesome. There's other tools that I would like, but RIMS is a premium price point. So it's a niche device, but boy, I tell you, it sure makes your installs look phenomenal. I mean, it's just European all the way.
Yeah, very cool. So it takes all the solders out. We got soldering and ProPress, and none of that. We just bend it now.
Yeah, we're not losing. We don't lose the flow through the 90s as bad. I mean, Viega has helped with that with the ProPress 90s because they're long turn versus the old solder 90s. But RIMS is even less head loss because of the long bends. And boy, I'll tell you, it saves leak issues and trying to get into tight spaces. And you can bend it around corners, or you can bend it over pipe. Just all kinds of nice things, and it looks just sharp as heck.
Yeah, and you set yourself apart from everybody else, right?
Oh, yeah. Everybody notices it right away. They're like, what is that? Like, how did they do that? And it's just the refrigeration is finally coming into the plumbing side, and it's awesome. Very cool.
So you're a licensed plumber?
Yeah. So Washington State has 3 licenses currently right now. We have the residential
04.
Yeah, 04, which you can do anything outside the wall, but you can't cut into the wall. And then they have the 02, which is a residential plumbing license. You can do everything under 3 stories. And then anything above that with an 01, you can do everything. So the 01 is what I currently hold, and that allows me to do anything and everything in the plumbing industry.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
so,
fun.
As an apprentice, what did you do that you would recommend other people do as an apprentice?
Oh, I would recommend as many trade shows as you can go to, as many groups on social media that you can get to. Just using the products every day on your job is not enough to understand what's available and what's out there, because not everybody, even your journeyman, is going to know about the products that are available. Even on this little tiny trade show, I learned about products that I had no idea that were available. And going to your supply houses, those people just work there. They don't even understand all the products. So this is where you really get to understand the little niche tools, little niche products that aren't there, that the manufacturers would love for you to put in. So this is really a great opportunity to learn. And I wish I had been going to this when I was coming up in the trades. It would have been awesome.
Yeah. Let's just wait for this to end quickly. Awesome. So rather than just learn from who you're working with, you're learning outside the industry at Facebook chat groups and social media and...
Yeah. The other trade show too for service plumbing and stuff is KBIS. That's the Kitchen and Bath show down in Vegas, and that is phenomenal to see some really high-end product line, just what's capable and what's available for the homeowners that have a little bit more champagne taste. And so it's a great thing to go to and look at products that you would never see in a supply house or in a showroom, because the cost is prohibitive. But yeah, it's anything's fun when it comes to trade shows. It's just a good time, and the reps really want to show you and treat you really well. They take you out, show you the town in the evenings, and want your business, and they're there to help you and support you in the industry. So if you have a problem, your first line of defense is the rep, and then the rep supports you because you're putting their product in. Now there is an issue where you're buying from supply house or something like that undercuts the local rep, so that's a little bit of a frustration. But during our procurement issues through the pandemic, there was kind of left with no other options. So that was one of the things. But now that that's kind of subsiding and procurement's getting back to normal things, it's a lot better to deal with your local reps.
Yeah, and this is where you meet them and become friends. Like I met the Renee rep, Randy. We've met a couple times before, but last night we went out to dinner and had a good time and got to know each other a lot better, and visited, and we just know each other a lot better. And so that's going to translate into the future.
Yeah, 100%. They really want to go overboard to help you in everything you can. And just like the Milwaukee, the tool reps. So if you get your name known by those guys and they're kind of aware of you or whatever, you have a problem with a tool, you just give it back to them. They'll give you another one. And this is where your relationships are hugely important. And that's why I'm really big into getting to know the local reps, and they can help you, and they will bend over backwards to do whatever they can do, because they have quotas they have to meet, and they just want to make sure that you're happy with the product. And if you're not, let them know. Don't never tell anyone. I come to these trade shows and I tell the reps what I have problems with their products, and they're surprised, because it's like, I've never heard that before. And it's like, I hear it from all my local guys that tell me there's issues with this or that. I'm surprised you've never heard this. So it's really interesting that they haven't heard some of the problems that arise from their products.
So at the trade show, it's a place for you to give good, honest feedback to the reps.
100%.
Directly.
Yes, 100%. It's face to face. It's not so much the rep as it is the manufacturer, because the manufacturer is here, which is a direct connection to the product manufacturing. So he takes it back and he talks to his engineering department about it. Or sometimes if you're telling the rep, between when he leaves your office or leaves a job site, he may forget, he may not get it back to the manufacturer. So being at these trade shows where the manufacturer is there along with your rep is hugely important. They get to know you. And then when you set up training for your guys or your shop, the manufacturers usually come to those, and then they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? It was a good time seeing you last year's show and stuff like that. So it's a benefit for everybody.
Actually, Aaron, I've never actually heard that, but you can complain out in the field, or you can come to a trade show and talk to the person that can do something about it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Don't use Facebook as your sounding board to bitch about a product, but then never call the rep or the manufacturer to tell them. So that's what these are here for, to learn about the product and make it better and let them know that you have this issue. So that's a huge, huge benefit.
Yeah, very cool. So back in your apprenticeship, if you could do it over again, is there something that you would do different?
I would try to attend as many trainings, as many schools, learn from as many guys as I could. I'd want to try to be aware of my licensing requirements, my continuing education requirements. I'd be talking to my business, the company I work for, to encourage them to remind me of when I need my license renewal. I know it's my responsibility as an apprentice to understand these things, but it's a new field as an apprentice gets into, and he doesn't know these things. So he needs to rely on either his journeyman or the business owner to discuss with him on what he needs to do. And the company needs to do everything they can to keep their apprentices in line as far as their apprenticeship cards current, and constantly checking in to make sure they're learning, and have in-house training for them too, so they're learning as they go. Because with a residential license, the 04, it's 2,000 hours, or 4,000 hours for 2 years. The 02 is 6,000 hours, and the 01 is 8,000 hours. And so it takes some time to get those. And if you're not keeping your apprenticeship current, then you're just taking even longer. So, and we have a deficit right now of licensed plumbers. So it's super important to keep your license current.
I totally agree. What so now that you're a gentleman plumber and you're probably training apprentices, what do you see that you like? How do you know an apprentice is going to work out, and how do you know that one maybe is not going to work out?
It's kind of interesting, So one is their willingness to learn, and two is their questions, and you can see when they're watching you. It's hard for the younger generation right now because there's so much influence with social media and their phones beeping and dinging and making noise when they're getting alerted by somebody texting them or something like that. So I understand the lure of the technology, but at the same time, you have to put your phone down and you have to actually concentrate and pay attention to your journeyman so you can know when he needs that next tool, and ask questions like, why are you using that tool versus this tool? Or what's the reasoning behind this? Like, it doesn't matter how silly the question is. It's what matters is you understand the process and why he's doing that and what he's doing on that. If he's a good journeyman, he'll explain that to you.
Awesome. Very good. Well, Aaron, thanks for being on the show, and enjoy the rest of the trade show.
It's fun. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the show. Did you agree? Did you disagree? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. Making the trades the place to be for young people is a team effort. So share this with someone and help us all out.